Daughter and wife don't eat meat because of that very reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, they don't. Well, on a farm I done a lot of trapping, so I done a lot of killing rabbits. Like I'd get a couple of dozen a night and kill them and use the skin, sell the skin. But I went through all that. But you didn't know anything different in those days.
Yeah.
It wasn't considered cruel or anything. You killed them quick and that, and you never thought anything of it.
Yeah, right.
It's only now that you're starting to see now that you notice it now with all the advertising out, and they put them in these horrible stalls where they can't bloody all move around in mud and shit.
Well, that's what the pig industry is. That's why I'm curious. Is there a reason you haven't stopped eating pork if you're aware it's like that?
Well, I suppose I'm a bit practical. I think that I'm not going to be able to stop it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But waiting less, I suppose.
As in, you're saying you're not sure if you can have an impact on what's going on.
No, I don't really think I would have, even if I didn't. The amount of pork I'd eat, you know what I mean? But
right.
It's not the point. I don't like the way they. They used to use electrolysis in New Zealand. I don't know whether they use that now, but they use electrolysis to kill the pig. They put it in their ears, electrocute them.
There's a bit of footage of that there. It's sometimes used in Australia. The primary method of killing them in Australia is the gas chambers. It's pretty horrific, quite frankly. They cry and they scream in agony as it basically burns them from the inside. You mentioned before that you feel like you couldn't have an impact. I guess. What's the reason you feel like you couldn't have an impact?
Because I suppose it was the volume that I'd eat anyhow, I suppose.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'd more than anything,
I guess it would still make a small impact, though. I guess like when you look at what's happening to those pigs, though, I assume you'd probably say it's not good for that just to happen a little. It probably shouldn't happen at all, right?
No. Well, I don't know what they're going to do really, because let's face it, they're going to be practical about things. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop killing animals. We've got to realise that.
Why would you say that?
Well, because of the people. Because people eat a lot of meat. You know what I mean? I don't think you can convert that many people to be vegetarians. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? Things like that. It would go a long way. A lot of people now are eating less meat. I must admit, particularly where we live in Newtown, I'd say that probably the volume of meat eaten probably might have been cut by more than half.
I understand what you're saying. I got to ask though, because what everyone else does doesn't really say much about the ethics of what we do individually, right? If everyone beat up their dog at home, right, it still wouldn't justify ourselves beating up our dog, right? We've got to look at our morals as individuals, right?
I don't like the idea of the way they do it, but as I said,
I'm sure you don't. I'm sure no rational person does.
But,
I think we go and we pay for things that conflict with our own values.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, if you seem like a pretty intelligent, compassionate guy. I guess if you think that type of stuff's wrong, what would stop you from stopping supporting it? I guess the question is if, obviously humans don't need to drink milk to survive. So your daughter hasn't broken all her bones yet or anything, right?
No, geez.
I guess the question is if we don't need to have it for our health, right, even if it is done in the best way possible, what's the need for it? It's needless killing.
She eats other things that make up for the milk.
As in nutritionally? Yeah, right, because we can be healthy without killing animals, even if it is done in a better way. I guess just on the ethics of it, principle in itself, would you say yourself that you believe unnecessary killing is wrong?
Oh, unnecessary killing, of course it's wrong.
I guess
we only killed rabbits and that for
I understand,
food.
right?
Yeah, for food. That was all.
And I guess what I'd ask then is, I know we still kill these animals for food, right? But in agreeing that we don't need to be healthy, there is no necessity to consume these animals right now. In living in the city or living in Newtown or living wherever you do, right? And wouldn't that, by virtue of that, make eating animals simply unnecessary killing? And the same thing with eating their products like eggs and milk?
It is. You don't have to eat them, as I said.
I guess you yourself said we don't have to, right? And then by definition, that would make it needless killing. And I guess you said you're against needless killing.
Yeah.
I guess, would that not logically extend that you should, in term, if in your heart, your values are saying you're against eating animals or eating their products, right? It sounds like in your heart you're already a vegan.
Virtually I am. Now I am, but I don't. As I said, if I want to get a rifle now and I go out in the country, I'd shoot a rabbit to eat it.
Right.
But only to eat it.
Right, but you wouldn't need to anyway, right?
No,
you live here, right?
It'd
be for the pure pleasure of it, right? And I'm sure you'd probably agree that pleasure isn't a good justification for killing, right? I think there's a lot of people who are vegan at heart, but their actions are conflicting with their values. I was like that for the longest time. I think most people think animal cruelty and unnecessary killing is wrong, but I guess what I'd encourage you to do is if you feel like your values are there, why not align your actions with them?
Yeah, well, this type of advertising will help a lot because I don't think people will realise what actually goes on.
Yeah.
And I saw the one on killing the horses about 2 months ago.
From the racing industry and things?
The racing industry.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And I was
horrible across the board. All of it's
horrified.
horrible. I'm sure you don't like the unnecessarily killing. You prefer them to not be bolted in the head at all, right?
Well, of course I'd rather
Like
see
there's
them
degrees of betterment, right? But like that's if someone's going to kill me, I prefer them to cut my head off than skin me alive, right? But I prefer them to not cut my head off or anything at all, right? Let me live, right? And
well, I suppose with me with horses, we had horses. Of course, I don't know. I like the idea of killing horses.
of course.
Because they're more of a creature we use for riding, you know. And I don't.
I think I assume it would maybe perhaps even just be that they're a creature in general that suffers and feels pain in the same way that any conscious creature would. It doesn't necessarily deserve to die for our needless ends.
Particularly the racing business.
Right.
That's what gets me.
Right. But is that any different? Because that's just a pleasure of the eyes, right? Is that any different from the pleasure of the mouth that we gain from eating animals?
I suppose not in some way, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? And I for the longest time was against horse racing and dog racing and things like that. I live right near a dog racing track. Right. But yeah, and I guess I found in myself that I eventually realised there was a degree of hypocrisy going on there. That I was against the needless exploitation of these animals for those means, but I was happy to needlessly exploit animals for my own means. I've got to press you. Living in Newtown, what would stop you from being a vegan from tomorrow?
Well, I virtually am. You know, I mean,
well, it sounds like you are in your heart. It sounds like you agree that needless killing is wrong and all that. The main question would be, what would stop you from taking your actions to align with those values?
Well, my daughter's in the committee of the vegan.
I'm sure your daughter would love it.
And I probably will stop eating meat. You know, I think I'll eventually stop.
Yeah, right.
Just you've got to do it slowly.
But look, you seem like a really compassionate and honest guy, and I appreciate you having a really honest conversation with me about it. Most people really struggle to talk about it openly and honestly because it's.
I know it's quite the more easy about talking about it. It's a matter of tell what your ideas are.
Look, I appreciate it. I hope you look inside yourself and
well,
take that vegan heart you've got and make it into vegan actions.
I virtually have because
awesome.
My wife's not vegan, but she virtually just about is.
You'll have to get her on the vegan train as well.
The only thing she
big happy family.
She drinks milk.
Yeah, right.
And eats cheese.
She can still drink milk and eat cheese. Just get on the vegan stuff. She lives in Newtown. No excuses. All right, I'll leave you to it, buddy. Thank you so much.